So Raza, let's start with you. How'd you think about them? Sook! What the Hello, today we're going to be reviewing The Nun. It came out September the 7th on the United States. It stars Demian Bashir, Taisha Farmiga, and Jonas Blockett. I'm sure I butchered the name. And it was directed by Cohen Hardy. So, we're going to just give our opinions on it. And again, if people haven't watched the movie, please go watch the movie. This is going to be heavy spoilers, and we don't want to spoil anybody. So if you have not watched the movie, just click out of this video now. Alright, so we're going to start with just our opinions first on how the movie was, how we thought the scare element was. We're going to rate on like a couple of bases. So Raza, what did you think? What did you think about overall the movie?
So comparing it to the trailer, I think the trailer was a little overhyped compared to the actual movie. The movie depended on a lot of jump scares than actual scary content that stood with the person even after they left the theater.
I agree as well. This assessment I thought was specifically true when in the trailer, the jump scare that they give us in the trailer, it was the one with where the nun is following her and then at the end somebody sideswipes her.
I feel like that was the biggest jump scare, and they sort of
they gave it away. They gave it away.
Which I thought was a bad.
Yeah,
choice.
I thought it was a bad choice. What did you think, boys?
I think jump scares were fine. It's just the plot of the movie. I had a different envision of how it was gonna be. I thought the nun becomes demonic or
becomes possessed.
Possessed, not like a Valak, actual demon just taking a form of the nun.
Yeah, I thought the origin story was...
That would be more...
Yeah, when they said
scary.
Origin story, I thought it would be an actual origin story, not just, like what Moise said, a demon just taking a form of a nun, not...
Yeah, I definitely thought, like, okay, so if you want to make an origin story, right, you can't make the ghost, I say, too impersonal. Like how they did it in this movie was that, it's heavily related to biblical mythology. Now, I don't know, like, if any of this stuff is in the Bible. I'm sure it's not. Like, there's probably, like, supporting stuff that it came out of. But how they related it to, like, a king, which is kind of off-screen, because, like, they show a snippet of it, but it's not like it was any relevance to any of the Conjuring series later on. There's no tying back to it.
Yeah, the way they even show that scene in the medieval times when the... what was it? The king who basically does satanic activity inside the castle, and the ground just opens up and like a demon comes out of like hell or whatever.
Yeah, and it just
looked really fictional. It didn't.
The part about the horror, I think, like especially the Conjuring series, it's because like it could be real. It like the haunting could happen to your house. But that moment wasn't there. They had exceptional chance with at least the setting of the castle was amazing. Like the setting was amazing. The nun theme was amazing. But they failed to capitalize on that. There were good parts though. Let's start with the good parts as well. I thought couple of the scary scenes, the jump scares, were done particularly well. Especially I like the one where they think the lady's dead. They put they put a drape, the white drape on it, and then the lady comes back and starts stabbing the priest. I thought that was particularly well done. What was your guys' favorite jump scare?
I think that scene was one of the best scenes actually in the movie. That is where the biggest twist sort of gets unveiled in front of us, the audience. That's where we all find out that the nuns inside the castle were actually dead. The last nun was the nun who hung herself. So that's like the biggest twist. So that scene was really good.
Yeah, I think the hallway scene was also done very well. The jump scares in that were great. And I think jump scares in this movie were good. I don't think that was the problem for the movie. The problem was probably the story, the actual background story, which you mentioned, the upbringing of the Valak demon. I think that was just like rushed. Because this is the origin story and they didn't really give much of the origin.
Exactly. So I think even Father Burke and Sister Irene, the two that were sent over by the Vatican, it never seemed like they were on like this scary journey. More always seemed like a monster hunting, almost like.
Yeah, it was more of an adventure than like.
Yeah,
horror.
Exactly. Because the tension was always diffused. There was no exact they weren't really scared. Like they had such intense faith in like God or whatever have you, like, you know, they knew that they were gonna get, like, you know, out of this. Like, they knew, like, nothing was gonna happen to them. Like, they were gonna get protected. Where if the protagonists themselves aren't scared, how's the audience supposed to be scared? I personally, you know, this is like anecdotal evidence. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of people got really scared, but like, you know, in the movie theater where there were a lot of people just laughing at the movie, which I thought, like, you know, if a good horror movie, not a lot of people laugh. There's a lot of screams.
Yeah,
it's because they added the comedic.
Yeah, going off
effect.
of that, the scene where what was his name? The Frenchie.
Yeah, Frenchie.
That was his name, right?
Mhm.
Frenchie comes in with the shotgun and shotguns the demonic possessed lady who was in the white blanket.
Mhm.
The other scene where Father Burke was inside the coffin and I think she opens up the coffin with a shovel or something.
Mhm.
The audience was literally cheering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, you know, I think a good horror movie, more than its jump scares, it relies on tension, you know, it relies on that sense of uneasiness, like, oh, something's gonna happen. Yeah. The movie did very well in the beginning. I thought the beginning scene was phenomenal. Like,
the first scene.
I was really into like, I jumped into the movie because it was like the fog. The fog was amazing. The demon wasn't like so.
The
like,
demon
you know,
looked scary.
Exactly.
But,
yeah.
The setting was also really good.
Yeah.
I think the castle and the whole setting was basically it looked gloomy.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like the land was literally cursed.
Cursed. Yeah, exactly. I would say that. Yeah, and okay, let's jump on to the next topic. Now, how would you compare this to other of the movies in the same universe? I would definitely rank this on the lower part. I definitely think Conjuring was the best out of all of them. Then Conjuring 2, then this.
Yeah, I think this was better than the Annabelle movies.
I
think
or
Annabelle
at least the
Creation
first
was
Annabelle.
better.
Annabelle
Yeah.
Creation was definitely
But
better.
the first Annabelle was probably the least.
The least
bottom.
The bottom. Yeah, I
This
definitely.
would be in the middle, if anything.
Yeah, I definitely think that as well. I think that it was it had more potential than those movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think because, you know, it's the setting was just so much
Yeah.
better. But how the other movies relied on the fear of the people that had no choice. You know, they had no choice. They didn't know, like,
They
if
didn't
this
know
was
it
a
was
demon,
coming.
what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they weren't like expecting anything. They were like,
Yeah.
you know, they were like the audience. They don't know what's
However,
going on.
like in this, Father Burke and the sister, they
Sister,
literally
yeah.
went to the demon. Like, they went in knowing
That,
like,
yeah, they didn't know.
something's wrong.
Yeah,
No, what I think is important is when you don't know how the demon looks in a movie or haven't seen it, that's a scary element. And thus we've seen the nun.
We've seen
We
the nun, yeah.
see the nun throughout the movie. You know how it looks. Once you've seen it, at least for me, I don't feel scared once I've seen the demon.
Another thing you talked about before was the personal element, the relatable element. I think every Conjuring movie or Annabelle movie has that. This one was missing it.
Yeah, definitely. I could not relate to the nuns. I'm sorry. I couldn't.
Yeah, exactly. Usually the movies take place inside like a house. Like, it's a colonial looking house, a house that most Americans would live in.
Exactly.
And there's typically a demon that possesses a family member, and they have to find a way out. They have to make sure the entire family is safe, and an exorcism is performed on the family member. In this, it was something. It wasn't relatable. It was them going into another a castle and figuring out what went wrong with someone else, not part of their family.
And really, nobody was possessed. Nobody was really possessed, were they? It was.
Well,
I mean, the nuns were possessed, but they were already dead. See, there was the confusion about the movie too.
And
So
there was that confusion.
yeah,
I never understood.
the one plot I didn't get about the movie is that, okay, so the nun that do help Sister Irene out, like, were they dead already and their spirit was helping them?
Or was it Valak
or
trying
what-
to confuse them?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Was it Valak trying to confuse
But then
them?
why would Valak want to help them?
Yeah, because
those nuns were helping.
Exactly.
Sister Irene.
Those nuns led them to Christ's blood.
Yeah.
Now, like, I don't think, like, maybe the demon wanted to get the Christ blood so that nobody else has it.
Now, it
but
makes-
then he already had the Christ blood. You know what I'm saying?
For the
I don't
plot,
know.
it makes more sense that, like, the spirit is trying to help them and then, you know, like, help them defeat Valak.
Mm-hmm.
But then what doesn't make sense is that in Conjuring 2, Valak was controlling the demon of the... Or not the demon, sorry. The spirit of the old man Valak was literally controlling him. So why couldn't Valak control these?
All the other nuns. There was many plot hole in that. I also think like how Valak got out by using World War II bombs. I think that's a little bit cliche. It just didn't like. It just wasn't personal, it's another one of those like personal moments that we can't that's missing in the movie. Like there's some movies that like, especially I think family movies that like the whole family is dead or like the whole family is like get messed up.
And going to that too, no one died. Like the main
nobody died.
The three main characters didn't die. Like
Frenchie died off screen.
Frenchie died later. Like they connected Conjuring 1 to this.
To that. But like that's like again like I think that's off screen. That's after the movie ended. Like after that no more scary scenes are gonna come.
Well,
I feel like
I don't think anyone really dies in any of these Conjuring or Annabelle movies. It's just the end. They always add a twist to relate it back. So that wasn't I don't think that was a problem.
I guess the dying. Well, a lot of horror movies do have.
But I feel like in this they should have done that because this movie didn't have any other creepy lasting element.
Well, exactly. They had the whole nuns. They showed them and then they were dead. So I guess that was enough for it.
Yeah, and also the whole Danny, like the whole like the little boy that the priest tried to try to exercise, but he died. How Valak was controlling him. There's also no like mechanism out to how Valak got hold of the boy, or like where was Valak already in that boy in the beginning?
Or how does Valak even know? Like, was Valak basically showing Father Burke the boy just because he feared?
Yeah, he feared the boy, but it just seemed like I had more expectations into the movie going in because the trailer.
The movie was extremely overhyped.
Okay, so for this movie, the scoring out of, let's say we're gonna rate it out of 10,
What would you give it?
5. Nothing more than 5.
I think I'd give it a 6 or 7.
I agree, 6 or 7.
6 or
Probably
7.
6.5.
I would give it a 5. I thought it was an average movie, so I'm giving it the average score.
I'd give it a 7 just because the nun did look creepy as shit. The setting was amazing.
I know we just came out of college, so it's like, C is passing, but like, but pure like mathematical perspective, like 10.
I would pass this movie. I would pass this movie.
I would pass this movie too.
I would pass it because it was still better than the first Annabelle.
If the plot holes weren't there,
D is passing. 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it would be a 9 or a 10 if like the part about the satanic ritual getting Valak out of the ground or whatever.
Yeah, I thought the one was
those
missing.
Parts were different. Maybe I could have given it a score.
And now I'm not a movie director or like like a plot writer, so I don't know. But I thought the movie would be better if one of the nuns, as Moy said, if one of the nuns was already possessed and she summoned Valak, but like she took it into her. You know what I'm saying? She was the evil one, not Valak himself. But
like
she
possession or their
some sort of possession.
Exactly. Like why the nun did that? They could have elaborated on. There's a lot of scandals in the Catholic Church as well, so they could have expanded on that.
Yeah. So but what are your final ratings then? You're giving it a 6. You're giving it a 6.5. I'm giving it like a 7.
Okay.
I would say it wasn't boring. So
it was definitely.
It was interesting.
Okay, so with this, we're gonna end our review. If you guys liked our review, please click the like button. If you want to comment something on it,
or share your opinions.
Share your opinions. Comment below. This is just opinions, by the way. Again, it's not concrete facts. That we're not here to tell you guys what you think, but this is our own thoughts on this experience of a movie. So please let us know how we did. Like a comment, like, subscribe.